So let's talk about the RNC, because that really, it does feel like that is the positive side of things. The DNC was last week. Super negative. Super Trump's fault, everything. You vote us in, we're going to get rid of Trump. That's basically the DNC summing that up. So now we have the RNC. It's been going. It started yesterday. It was, or I guess it started Monday. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's in full swing. And it's just a nonstop make America great, or America's great, or these hard times won't last. Let's move to the future. And all I can think is like, yes, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear from my politicians. I don't want to hear how negative things are, how bad things are, whose fault things are. That's playing the blame game. That doesn't work for me. I want to know.
Throwing pies at each other.
Yes, that's what the DNC was. Well, no, they weren't throwing it at each other. They were throwing it at the RNC. They were throwing it at Trump. And it was just like, okay, I get it. All right, I'm over this. Please, are you going to at least take some blame for yourself for the Democratic run cities that are being burnt to the ground? No? Oh, you're not going to condemn the violence at all? Oh, okay, great. I'm glad I'm no longer a Democrat, because it's ridiculous. But now we got the RNC. Everybody who speaks, it's just like, wow, I this is what I want to hear. They have a positive message. They're giving me things they're going to work on in the future. They're giving hope to the American public. I clapped a few times. I just was nonstop. I was clapping about it. It's wonderful. So here, let's just go over who was actually speaking. So this was last night's program. Melania Trump finished up the whole thing, and I'm going to talk about her in a second because her speech was fantastic. Rand Paul had some great things to say. Mike Pompeo spoke. One thing, where is he? Nicholas Sandmann. Oh my gosh, this guy, young teenager, got attacked by the media. Do you know who Sandmann is?
Mm-mm.
All right, so this is he was wearing a Trump hat. Okay, he happened to be in Washington, D.C. with his fellow students, and they really loved. I think he's from Kentucky, which is where Abraham Lincoln was from, and I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying in his speech. But he was saying they really loved. They really loved Lincoln. They wanted to go visit the Lincoln Memorial.
Okay.
So he happened to buy a Trump hat and was wearing it, a "Make America Great Again" hat, and they were there and. I guess just them being there, they started getting attacked by this Native American man who was just beating a drum in their face, got national news. Somehow the news spun it that he was antagonizing the people there, and it was just a teen, and he was just standing there silent, and his speech was awesome.
Wait, he was attacked because he was wearing the MAGA beanie? Or
yes.
The hat?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely got targeted because he had the Make America Great hat that my Trumpy bear is actually rocking out. So he
was speaking. He got a speech at the...
He spoke last night on the RNC.
RNC.
Yeah. Here, I actually have a little a GIF of him, and it's fantastic. And this is how he ended his speech. It was so good. I was like, it's not even a mic drop. It's just put the MAGA hat on, and it was like, oh man, Mr. Sandman. It was entertaining. It was rather entertaining. So
what did he have to say in his speech?
Well, just talking about how CNN, all these people, he basically explained what happened. So I kind of gave you half the speech right then and there, but he was talking about how, the media spun it and it was crazy, and how, he just wanted to, he basically told his story, and how he is a Trump supporter. And
so just like a good example of how the media is spinning things nowadays.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it was. So he basically had a mic drop, and it was great. And then we had Melania, who she had such an amazing speech about, women's empowerment, their movement, and, standing up for women, and, how far our education could go, and how she's trying to better that all, and how well America's doing under her husband, President Trump. It was just very enlightening. It was very pleasant to hear such positive tones. And do you know what the left was saying?
No.
All they could say, well, here, this is from Bette Midler. oh God, she still can't speak English.
Oh my God.
Everyone was just so obsessed with her accent. They were just like, oh man, her accent, like, I could go on. There were so many different celebrities that were trying to rip this woman apart, and it was so embarrassing. They were focused more on her accent and like whatever. She speaks 5 languages. She speaks Slovenian, English, French, Italian, and German. And then people are like, well...
And they're going to give her shit for her language skills.
Yeah, well, she doesn't speak them fluently. It's like, what? Who cares? She speaks English better than I can speak Slovenian, French, Italian, and German. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Like, oh, who cares if she's fluent? She could probably get by. It's crazy.
Well,
I mean...
It's kind of telling, like, maybe that was the only thing they could... say about her that was negative.
Boom.
They couldn't find anything in her speech that they were offended by.
You know what? And you're not the first person to say that. That's the thing. I mean, that's all they could attack because her speech was awesome. It felt good to hear these words. Like it was encouraging. It was hopeful. And honestly, that's what the RNC is. It felt like one big promotion for a beautiful, honest, hopeful future. And it's like, I'm all about that. That's incredible, So it feels like this was just, a smaller picture of really what the Democrats have been doing. They're trying to basically talk around all the stuff that's nitpicking instead of listening to the actual message of honestly what most Americans want. Now on the news last night, Don Lemon, honestly, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. He actually condemned the riots. He was like, oh, when are they going to, condemn the riots? It's like, thank you. Finally, we've got some sort of condemnation of the riots. Because they're riots. They're not protesters. That I saw on like mainstream media, because I talk about it a lot. The people I follow talk about it a lot. But as far as, CNN, MSNBC, all these like high whatever, the mainstream media essentially, they just get information from each other. All of them have consistently called all of the riots peaceful protesters.
What? That's madness.
Even still, like if you look at the news about what's going on this week, they're still talking about how it's just these protesters. White teenager from Illinois shoots into the crowd of peaceful protesters, and it's like, what? That was actually an article that someone wrote, and it's like there is countless videos of him running away from the crowd, being attacked by these people. So it blows me away how much mainstream media really just twists everything, and it's crazy how much that this is happening.
They're good storytellers.
You're right. That's what it is. That they're just straight up storytellers. Yeah.